Polar bear versus Kodiak bear. Two absolute titans of the north, both claiming the title of world's largest bear. But here's the mind-bending question. If these giants ever met on neutral ground, who would actually dominate? You've got the polar bear, the Arctic's swimming legend that can dive deep underwater and has documented long-distance swims spanning hundreds of miles. Then there's the Kodiak bear, Alaska's island monster that can weigh over 1,400 pounds and possesses bone-crushing power that's absolutely terrifying. Here's what's going to shock you. These bears are so closely related, they can actually breed together and create grizzly bears. But their fighting styles, completely different. We're talking about a marine hunting machine versus a terrestrial powerhouse. What happens when evolution's swimming champion faces off against nature's land-based destroyer? The answer involves some serious biology that'll change how you see both these incredible predators. I'm Patrick, and today we're breaking down this epic matchup with real science. Hit that subscribe button. You're about to discover which giant truly rules the north. Meet the Arctic Titans, the Ice King. Let's start with the polar bear. And this guy is straight up built different. When people say largest bear, they usually mean this Arctic legend. Adult males average 900 to 1,200 pounds, but the monsters can hit 1,600 pounds or more. But size is just the beginning. This bear evolved from brown bear ancestors relatively recently in evolutionary terms. Estimates vary, but we're talking hundreds of thousands of years, which is lightning fast by evolution standards. They basically said, forget land, we're going full marine mode, and became swimming machines. Here's what blows my mind. Polar bears have black skin under that white fur to absorb heat, paws that work like paddles, and can hold their breath for extended periods underwater. They're basically marine mammals disguised as land predators. And this is key, because their survival depends on taking down seals and occasionally attempting dangerous hunts on larger prey. They have arguably the most intense predator instinct of any bear. They have to be aggressive and efficient killers. This is why so many people see them as the ultimate animal combatant, the island giant. Now meet the Kodiak bear, Alaska's ultimate island monster. These guys are brown bears that got trapped on the Kodiak archipelago 12,000 years ago and said, let's get absolutely massive. We're talking about bears where the largest individuals can approach 1,500 pounds, with exceptional specimens reaching even higher weights. But here's the crazy part. Some captive bears have reached over 2,000 pounds under ideal feeding conditions. That's literally a small car with claws and teeth. What makes them terrifying? Island gigantism combined with salmon runs that let them pack on incredible muscle and fat. These bears are built like tanks, stockier, more muscular, and designed for raw terrestrial power. Now, a common misconception is that brown bears like the Kodiak aren't true predators. While they do eat a lot of vegetation and fish, that's just fuel to build their immense size. Don't be fooled. A dominant male Kodiak is an incredibly aggressive and experienced fighter. Their entire social structure is based on violent dominance disputes with other giant bears that are just as big as they are. They are battle-hardened brawlers, not gentle giants. The 4 biological rounds. Round number 1, raw power and crushing force. Who hits harder? Let's talk about what everyone wants to know. Who delivers more devastating force? Both bears have extremely powerful jaws, the kind that can crush bone and deliver devastating bites. But their striking power, that's where things get interesting. Kodiak bears have those massive shoulder humps, pure muscle designed for delivering bone-shattering overhead swipes. When a 1,500-pound Kodiak throws a haymaker, it's like getting hit by a wrecking ball with claws. They can break a moose's spine with one strike. But polar bears, they're precision hunters built for different kind of power. Those longer limbs give them incredible reach, and they can deliver lightning-fast strikes that can crush seal skulls instantly. Plus, they can rear up over 10 feet tall. Imagine that coming down on you. The Kodiak's raw brute force versus the polar bear's technical striking power. Winner, Kodiak bear. That concentrated muscle mass and shoulder power is just devastating. Round number 2, speed and athletic performance. The movement game. These aren't lumbering giants. Both can move when they need to. Polar bears can hit speeds up to 25 miles per hour on land in short bursts. But here's where they get scary. They're incredible endurance swimmers. We're talking about bears that can swim for hours at steady speeds that would exhaust most animals, with documented swims, covering hundreds of miles. Kodiaks can hit 30 miles per hour on land and maintain it over rough terrain. But here's what's wild. Despite weighing over half a ton, younger bears can climb trees, and they can navigate rocky cliffs and maneuver through dense forest like they're built for it. The polar bear's swimming endurance versus the Kodiak's land agility and speed. Both are surprisingly athletic for their size, but in completely different ways. Winner, Kodiak bear. That extra burst speed and superior land maneuverability gives them the edge. Round number 3, weapons and fighting tools. The arsenal comparison time to examine their natural weapons, and both are absolutely loaded. Kodiak claws are 4-inch curved daggers, perfect for slashing and gripping. They're non-retractable, so every step sharpens them. Combined with those powerful arms, they can rip through thick hide like paper. Polar bear claws are shorter but razor sharp, designed for gripping ice and slippery seals. But here's their secret weapon, those massive paws. At 12 inches across, they're like dinner plates with claws attached. When they swipe, it's devastating surface area. Both have similarly devastating bite power, but polar bears have longer necks for extended reach and those elongated skulls built for precision killing. The Kodiak's slashing power versus the polar bear's technical precision and reach advantage. Winner, tie. Different weapons for different jobs, both equally lethal. Round 4, stamina and pain tolerance. Who keeps fighting? This might be the most crucial factor. Who can absorb damage and keep going? Kodiaks are built for seasonal extremes. They'll fast for months during hibernation, then eat 90 pounds of food per day to bulk up. Their entire physiology is designed around boom and bust cycles that require incredible resilience. But polar bears? They live in constant survival mode. They might hunt for days without success, swim for hours in freezing water, and regularly face challenging hunting conditions. Most adult polar bears stay active year-round in some of Earth's harshest conditions. Only pregnant females truly hibernate in dens. Based on their lifestyle of extreme endurance challenges, those documented long-distance swims, extended fasting periods, and constant Arctic survival, it's reasonable to infer that polar bears have superior endurance capabilities. Winner, polar bear. That constant survival lifestyle likely creates superior endurance. Final score, Kodiak bear 2, polar bear 1, tie 1, the ultimate showdown. So here's the question everyone's been waiting for. What if they actually fought? And here's the mind-blowing reality. They might actually meet in the wild. Climate change is pushing polar bears onto land more often, and their ranges are starting to overlap with brown bears in places like... But here's what the science tells us about who would likely win. Location changes everything. On land, especially solid ground, the Kodiak has significant advantages. That stockier build, lower center of gravity, and superior land agility make them formidable. Plus, they're used to fighting other large brown bears for territory and mates. But here's where it gets interesting. Polar bears are used to hunting alone and taking down challenging prey. They've got that killer instinct from constantly demanding hunting scenarios. The individual factor, here's what really matters. The individual bear, a prime 8-year-old male Kodiak at peak condition versus a lean polar bear. Kodiak likely wins, but a massive well-fed polar bear against an average-sized Kodiak could go either way. Season matters too. A Kodiak fresh out of hibernation at reduced weight versus a well-fed polar bear? Completely different fight than a pre-hibernation Kodiak at maximum weight. The critical fighting style difference. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking, but Patrick, the polar bear is a dedicated predator. The Kodiak is just a scavenger and a fisherman, and that predatory nature is a huge advantage. But here's the critical difference. A polar bear's fighting style is optimized for killing prey. Quick, devastating attacks on animals that are trying to flee. A Kodiak bear's fighting style is optimized for dominating other predators, specifically other giant Kodiak bears. They are experts in the brutal, stand-up, grappling, and slugging matches that define a fight between two equals. This isn't about hunting, it's about combat. And in a pure combat scenario, that experience dealing with equally massive opponents is a game changer. So in a hypothetical neutral ground battle between equal-sized prime condition males based on their morphology and fighting adaptations, I'm giving the edge to the Kodiak bear, and here's why. That concentrated muscle mass, the superior land-based fighting experience, and those devastating shoulder strikes would likely give them advantages in a terrestrial combat scenario. Kodiaks are simply built more for land-based physical confrontations. But make no mistake, it would be brutal and close. Both bears have the power to end the fight quickly, and individual factors like size, condition, and experience could easily flip the result. This isn't a guaranteed outcome, it's an educated inference based on their physical adaptations. Who's the real winner? But here's what I really want you to remember. Both these bears are evolutionary masterpieces facing real threats from habitat loss and climate change. Instead of imagining them fighting each other, we should be fighting for both their futures. The polar bear's sea ice is disappearing. Kodiak bears face pressure from development and changing salmon runs. These magnificent predators deserve our respect and protection, not hypothetical battles. What do you think? Team Kodiak or Team Polar Bear? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if this blew your mind, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got more epic predator showdowns coming your way.